Juan Mendez Scott's Hologram. Chapter 7. We are going to be rich. The room scorched with heat, like I shoved the whole bedroom into the fireplace. So hot I stripped down to my boxer underwear and socks. I fixed myself a drink, Hennessy, and Coke. I lit myself in a nice fat stogie. The TV was on. I had it on mute. I wanted to hear Roxie walking through the door. No, I didn't go to my mother's house. I came straight home to set up the perfect murder I was about to commit. When Roxie walked into the house, I could hear her sneakers bouncing around the foyer when she kicked them off. It was at that moment I took a sip from my drink. It was so cold from the ice, I held the liquor at the bottom of my throat to tease my victory before I swallowed it down. "Roxie, is that you, honey?" When Roxie walked into the bedroom, the heat and the smoke attacked her right away. As if she'd walked into a burning building with the smoke as thick as the clouds. Pissed, she fanned the smoke and heat away from her face. "What the hell is wrong with you? Why do you have the fireplace on? It's too hot in here. You know I can't breathe in this." I puffed on my cigar and blew smoke at Roxie, and she immediately, to my thrill, started coughing. She rushed across the room and turned off the fireplace. "What is going on with you? You know you're not supposed to be smoking in here." I blew more smoke at her. "So I guess you and Doug getting back together, huh?" Roxie popped a look over at me, lost for words. She pissed me off more, pretending to be puzzled when she knew damn well what I was talking about. I clearly caught her off guard, upsetting her so bad that she started a coughing fit. "Put the fucking cigar out," she said, raising her voice. She knew I didn't like it when she raised her voice at me. That was something I didn't tolerate. "What? You're trying to make me sick?" "You're seeing your ex-husband behind my back," I said, yelling and raising the roof. "That's what's wrong with me." She covered her nose and mouth, still yelling back at me. "Put the cigar out." I shrugged, pissing her off more. "No, I'm not putting the cigar out." "What are you and Doug trying to pull, Roxie? I want to know now, damn it." Roxie's coughing fit got worse, and she fell into a panic, searching through drawers for one of her inhalers. Ripping through drawers, throwing clothes to the floor. She could not find an inhaler. I said, "Where's your inhaler, Roxie?" I smiled, puffing away at my cigar as I watched Roxie frantically look for her inhaler, running out of oxygen. Coughing, she said, What did you do with my inhaler?" "Todd." I ignored Roxie, blowing smoke at her. "Todd, my inhaler." I downed my drink and plucked ashes into the glass. "Last time I saw it, downstairs, I guess." "I don't know. You find it. Good luck." I knew where Roxie kept all her inhalers and asthma medicine. I had all that stuff in the basement to cover my tracks. Roxie rushed out of the bedroom, running down the stairs, headed for the kitchen drawer where she kept another inhaler, which I also hid. And she ended up tripping and falling down the stairs. I left the bedroom and stood at the top of the stairs, watching her suffer. "Help me, Todd," she said, crying, coughing, on her way to a full-blown asthma attack. I shook my head down at her. My perfect murderous plan was coming to light. My disdain for her sticking her like a knife. "Not this time, Roxie. Why don't you call Doug to help you?" Although having an asthma attack, Roxie crawled to her feet, hugging the walls, limping, and wobbling into the kitchen, frantically searching through kitchen drawers for an inhaler that wasn't there. I followed her into the kitchen, my hands behind my back, watching her die, waiting anxiously for her to take her last breath. "You want me to call Doug for you?" "It's not in there, Roxie. I threw all of your inhalers in the trash." Tears poured from Roxie's eyes. So scared she couldn't move, pitiful thing. She knew the end was near. "Help me," were her last words, staring into my eyes, begging me with hers. She breathed hard, fighting to live, but she ended up collapsing to the kitchen floor, flat on her back. I could hear the air barely wheezing out of her lungs. I walked over and kneeled to her, calm and cool, making sure I was the last person she would ever see. "Don't worry about it, Roxie," I said with a screaming, wicked smile. With the plans that I have for you after you die, especially with the hologram of you, you're going to live on forever. With her last breath, Roxie grabbed me tight by the collar with one hand, letting out a long sigh, and dying with her eyes wide open, staring up at the ceiling. And I had a hard time getting my collar out of the clutches of her fist. I literally had to peel her fingers from the collar of my shirt. And I have to admit, it creeped me out a little. I stood up and stared down at Roxie, studying her dead body. And in some ways, I couldn't believe one of the biggest pop stars in the world was dead. But I didn't have time. I needed to get moving in case Estella came over to spend the night with Roxie. I ran down into the basement and gathered up all 3 of Roxie's inhalers I hid. And I put them back where I found them, to make it look like she didn't get to them in time. When I got the inhalers back into the drawers, I jumped in my car and drove around, killing time. I called Estella and asked her if she was staying the night at her parents' house if she was going home. She said that her drunk jackass of a mother got on her nerves and that she was going home. I told her I would meet her there with the good news that in a few more weeks we were going to be super rich.